Have you ever noticed that the more you fear something, the more likely it seems to happen? You are terrified of being late, and suddenly every traffic light turns red. You are afraid of being rejected, and the moment you speak, your words come out awkward and uncertain. It can feel as if some invisible force is placing your worst fears directly in your path. Is that just coincidence? Or do our thoughts influence reality more than we realize? That question lies at the heart of The Secret by Australian author Rhonda Byrne. Before writing the book, Byrne was going through one of the darkest periods of her life. Her father had died, her work was falling apart, and her personal relationships were under enormous strain. Then she encountered an idea that, in her view, had appeared throughout history in the lives and work of influential thinkers, artists, inventors, and business leaders. That idea became the foundation of The Secret, a book that went on to become a global bestseller. Its central message is simple. What we repeatedly focus on tends to expand in our lives. Byrne calls this the law of attraction. According to the book, everything has a frequency, including thought. The ideas and emotions we repeatedly send out act like signals, attracting experiences with a similar frequency. Byrne compares the process to tuning a radio. Choose one frequency, and you receive one station. Choose another, and you hear something completely different. In the same way, the book argues, your dominant thoughts determine what kind of reality you experience. Thought is described as a magnet. The people, opportunities, and circumstances around us are like pieces of metal. Whatever kind of emotional field we create will determine what we pull toward ourselves. When someone constantly thinks, "What if I fail?" that fear begins to influence what they notice and how they behave. They hesitate, they avoid risks. They interpret ordinary setbacks as proof that failure is inevitable. Their fear can eventually help produce the outcome they were trying to avoid. But when someone genuinely believes improvement is possible, they tend to notice different things. They recognize opportunities, recover more quickly from setbacks, and act with greater confidence. The law of attraction is not established as a scientific law in the way gravity or electromagnetism is, but as a psychological metaphor, it points to something important. Attention shapes perception. Expectations influence behavior, and behavior changes outcomes. Look at the people around you. Cheerful, open-minded people often build relationships with others who respond to that energy. People who constantly complain may gradually surround themselves with others who reinforce the same negative worldview. We do not simply react to our environment. Through our attitudes, choices, and behavior, we also help create it. So how can this idea be used in daily life? The book describes a three-part process: ask, believe, and receive. It begins with asking clearly. A vague desire produces vague action. Saying, "I want a better life," gives you no clear direction. What exactly does better mean? Perhaps you want to save a specific amount of money within 6 months so you can take a course that matters to you. Perhaps you want a job closer to home with a healthier working environment and enough income to feel financially secure. The clearer the goal, the easier it becomes to recognize what supports it and what does not. Clarity also forces you to make choices. Once you know what you are aiming for, you can identify the skills, habits, resources, and decisions required to move toward it. Then comes belief. Many people say they want something while privately assuming they will never get it. They set a goal, but every thought beneath that goal says, "This probably won't work." Real belief is not pretending that success is guaranteed. It is the willingness to behave as though progress is possible. Think of a farmer planting a field. The farmer does not dig up the seeds every morning to check whether they have started growing. The farmer prepares the soil, provides water, protects the crop, and allows time for the process to work. Goals require the same combination of confidence and patience. You do the work without demanding immediate proof that every effort will succeed. The final part is receiving. Sometimes an opportunity arrives, but the person who asked for it is not prepared to accept it. Someone wants a promotion, yet when greater responsibility appears, they immediately think, "I'm not qualified. I can't handle this." The door opens, but fear prevents them from walking through it. Receiving means making room for the result you say you want. It means developing the skills to handle it, believing that you are capable of growing into it, and acting when the opportunity appears. The 3 stages work together: define the goal, build confidence through preparation and consistent action, then remain alert enough to recognize the opportunity when it comes. The book applies this idea to several major areas of life, beginning with money. Imagine an ordinary office worker named John. His income is modest, and money always feels tight. Instead of focusing only on what he lacks, he decides to define 2 concrete goals: earn enough to replace his old car and take his family on a vacation by the sea. He writes those goals down. He imagines how it would feel to reach them. But more importantly, the goals begin to change his behavior. He pays closer attention at work, develops stronger proposals, notices projects he might previously have ignored, and becomes more willing to present his ideas. Eventually, one of his proposals is accepted, and he receives a substantial bonus. From the perspective of The Secret, his focused thoughts attracted the result. From a psychological perspective, the process may be more practical. A clear goal changed what he noticed, increased his motivation, and influenced the actions that made success more likely. Either way, the lesson is useful. Our beliefs about money often shape our financial behavior. Someone who grows up hearing that money is corrupting may feel guilty about earning it. Someone who believes wealth is impossible may never learn how to negotiate, invest, or build valuable skills. These assumptions can become invisible barriers. Gratitude is another major theme in the book. Byrne argues that constantly focusing on scarcity strengthens the feeling of scarcity. Appreciating what you already have creates a sense of abundance. That does not mean ignoring bills or pretending financial problems do not exist. It means refusing to let fear become your only mental state. Gratitude can exist alongside budgeting, planning, skill development, and disciplined action. The book also applies its philosophy to health, but this is where the idea must be handled carefully. A hopeful mindset can help people manage stress, stay engaged with treatment, maintain healthier routines, and cope more effectively with illness. Visualization and relaxation may also improve emotional well-being, but positive thinking is not a substitute for medical diagnosis or treatment. Thoughts alone cannot be assumed to eliminate serious diseases, and becoming ill does not mean someone has failed to think positively. A responsible way to use the book's health message is to picture the behaviors and experiences associated with recovery. Imagine sleeping more consistently, moving with greater comfort, eating well, attending medical appointments, and following an effective treatment plan. Instead of treating the body as an enemy, treat it as something worthy of care. The same principle applies to relationships. Some people seem to make connections wherever they go. Others experience the same conflict in every new workplace, friendship, or romantic relationship. Part of the reason may be the expectations they carry with them. When you assume that others will hurt or reject you, that belief appears in your posture, voice, and reactions. You become guarded. Other people sense the tension and may respond defensively, reinforcing your original assumption. But when you approach others with reasonable openness, they are more likely to respond in kind. Changing a relationship often begins by changing the interpretation you place on the other person's behavior. A colleague who seems rigid may also be careful and responsible. A parent who repeatedly checks on you may be expressing concern, even if the way they communicate is frustrating. This does not mean excusing cruelty, manipulation, or abuse. Some relationships require firm boundaries or distance. Positive thinking should never become a reason to tolerate harmful behavior. But in ordinary conflicts, replacing automatic criticism with curiosity can change the entire conversation. Language matters as well. Repeatedly saying, "My partner is lazy," or "My friend is selfish," fixes that person inside a negative label. Once the label is in place, every action becomes evidence supporting it. A more constructive approach is to describe the specific behavior, explain its effect, and state what you would like to change. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. A sincere thank you for an ordinary act can interrupt the habit of taking people for granted. Over time, Small expressions of appreciation create a warmer emotional climate. Of course, applying these ideas is not always easy. The first obstacle is doubt. People begin enthusiastically, see no immediate result, and conclude that the entire process has failed. Instead of demanding instant transformation, look for smaller signs of progress. Are you making better decisions? Are you noticing more possibilities? Are you responding differently to setbacks? These changes may appear before the final result. Another obstacle is anxiety. Someone may claim to believe in a goal while spending every day imagining everything that could go wrong. The answer is not to force every negative thought out of your mind. That usually makes it stronger. Bring your attention back to the present. Meditation can help. Spend a few minutes focusing on your breathing and allowing thoughts to pass without treating each one as a prediction. Outside negativity can also be a problem. When you begin changing your life, some people will mock your goals or project their fears onto you. You do not have to argue with everyone. Protect your attention, seek honest but constructive feedback, and spend more time with people who support disciplined growth. Then there is impatience. Many people set an intention today and expect a complete result tomorrow. But major change usually takes time. The law of attraction, even in the book's own framework, is not supposed to deliver finished results without effort. It brings possibilities, and those possibilities still require action. A practical daily routine can make the book's ideas more useful. Write down your goals in clear language. Keep a gratitude journal and record a few things that went well each day. Create a vision board that keeps important goals visible. Release stress through exercise, conversation, rest, or reflection, instead of allowing it to accumulate. Phrase your goals around what you are moving toward rather than only what you are trying to escape. Instead of repeating, "I don't want to be poor," say, "I am building financial stability." The value of this wording is not that the universe cannot understand the word not. It is that a positive direction gives your mind a clearer target for action. Ultimately, The Secret argues that our thoughts help create our reality. That idea becomes misleading when taken to mean that every event is caused by thought, or that people are responsible for every illness, accident, or hardship they experience. Life includes chance, social conditions, biology, and events no individual can control. But our thoughts do influence what we notice, how we feel, what we choose, how consistently we act, and how we respond when circumstances change. And those factors can reshape a life. The real power of the book is not the promise that wishing will make everything appear. It is the reminder that action begins internally. Before planting a seed, you prepare the soil. Before changing your circumstances, you often need to change the assumptions guiding your decisions. Your future is not written by thought alone. It is written through the interaction of thought, emotion, choice, opportunity, and action. So consider one question. What idea have you been repeating so often that it has started to shape the life you are living?